Hi you guys, my name is Megan and welcome to my vlog. I wanted to make this because I am currently 26 weeks pregnant with my rainbow baby, and it's just such a happy time for me and my family, and I really want to be able to thoroughly remember it. And what better way than, documenting it. And I thought this would be a really great media for that. A little bit of a backstory about me and getting to where I am right now. In August of 2016, I married my husband, Zach, and about a week or two before our wedding, I found out that I was pregnant and had had a miscarriage in the same phone call. I had been having a really, really bad period, and it was really abnormal for me. Usually I would have a 3-day period. It was really light. I usually, would have very minimal cramping if I had any. And I was in a lot of pain. I had been bleeding for much longer than I normally did. I was having back pain. And so I went to the doctor and they did a blood test. I didn't think anything of it. They basically told me that they thought it was just a really bad period and that I would be fine. And I told them that I had missed a couple days of my birth control, and so they said that sometimes when you mess with hormones like that, it can cause your period to be worse. I didn't really think anything of it. I had like 3 missed calls, and I finally called them back when I was bringing my wedding dress home from alterations. And they told me that I had had a miscarriage. For about an hour after I received the phone call, I was fine. I didn't really think anything of it. I put it in, this little box in the back of my brain, and then it kind of hit me like a train. And I think it sunk in. And that was probably one of the hardest moments of my entire life. I think when I had first gotten the call, what was going through my head is, oh, well, we weren't trying to get pregnant. We weren't ready, and so it's okay. And before I had my miscarriages, I thought that an unplanned pregnancy, I don't think this now, but I thought that an unplanned pregnancy would hurt less if you lost it than if you had planned a pregnancy and lost it. But I soon found out that is completely untrue. And both my losses were equally devastating. And that's when my husband and I made a kind of impulsive decision, but when we talk about it and when we look back on it, we both agree it was one of the best decisions we ever made. And we decided that I wasn't going to take birth control anymore. Our hearts built up this place. We started thinking about what it would be like if we had, kids. We both really wanted them. We wanted them so bad. And we knew we could do it. We knew we would figure out a way to. And we decided that why wait? There's always going to be a better time to do something. And there's always going to be a better time to do something, and there's always going to be a reason not to do something. And we didn't have enough reasons not to for us to say, okay, we need to calm down and wait. We can afford it. We can do it, and we can do it the right way. And so why not? Yeah, if we waited 5 or 10 years, we would be better off financially. But money's not the most important thing in the world, and I think that's really hard for some people to understand. We can comfortably afford to take care of our baby, and there will always be a greater level of comfort out there, and we'll get there, but right now we can do it, and we wanted to do it, so we're gonna do it. And I didn't get pregnant again for 3 more months, and I lost our second baby in November. Both pregnancies were very similar, my first 2. I didn't have any pregnancy symptoms, nothing. I didn't have a sore chest, I didn't have to pee a lot, and I had none of the early pregnancy symptoms that I had with Bentley. And so I wasn't really surprised when I lost the second one. It still definitely hurt as much as the first one, and I'm sure if we had gone on to have a third one, thank goodness we didn't, but it still definitely hurt, even though I just knew in my gut that something was wrong and that it wasn't gonna work out. When I found out I was pregnant with Bentley in February of 2016, it was completely different. I almost knew that I was pregnant. The, moment of conception, I just knew. And I, had sore chest and food aversions. I could not stand the smell of tortillas or cooking bacon. And I just knew. I had this really good feeling about having the symptoms. And then when I took an at-home pregnancy test, it made me feel so great because it was a big fat positive. And with my first 2 pregnancies, I never got an at-home test positive because my hormone levels were so low. And then sure enough, we went to the doctor and he had a heartbeat at 6 weeks, 5 days. And I told everyone the news not too long after that. I look back and I don't regret telling everyone early. I know that a lot of women choose to wait until 12 weeks, and that's when miscarriage rates drop drastically. But the way I saw it, I wanted to share the happy, because God forbid if anything had happened, I wanted other people to feel what I was feeling too. I wanted them to be happy, and then if something happened, I wanted them to be sad. I wanted that togetherness. I was so tired of feeling these feelings alone. And so I told them really early. And that's why people at work and, family and people on Facebook are always like, oh my goodness, you're still pregnant? Because I told them so early. And so they think I just have this, abnormally long pregnancy, but nope. It is really hard dealing with the losses and the pain and grief that comes with it, and then the happiness of a new and, really good pregnancy. It's a really complicated feeling to have, especially knowing that I wouldn't have Bentley specifically and who he is as a person if I hadn't lost my first 2 pregnancies. And that's something that I know I'm going to struggle with and work through for probably the rest of my life, if not, a very long time. But I've managed to stay really positive this entire pregnancy, and I've managed to ward off guilt that I may feel about being so happy. And I think I'm doing really well, and I'm definitely moving in the right direction. I wanted to also give out a little message to women who are struggling with infertility or pregnancy loss. And I wanted to say something profound that would make you feel better, but I think the most profound thing I can say is that it sucks, and for a really long time, nothing's gonna make you feel better. And that's awful, but I think sometimes hearing the truth is the most helpful thing. And so that's what I want to offer you, is it sucks. You're going to feel really, really alone for a really long time. And you're going to become obsessed with getting pregnant. And you're going to feel like everyone is out to get you, or that they don't understand. And it's incredibly difficult. The only little ray of sunshine I can offer you is that when you do, if you do get over that line, to the happy side, to the heartbeats and the good ultrasounds and the weight gain and all that amazing stuff, and eventually a happy, healthy little baby, it is exactly what you imagined it would be. It is the best thing I have ever experienced, and every drop of pain and every tear I ever cried and everything has been more than 100 times worth it. And I just want to let you know to never give up, to just keep fighting. And if fighting means fertility treatments or finding answers or adopting, I want you to do that, because it's worth it. And I feel like everyone should be able to have this feeling if that's what they want out of life. I feel like you should be able to have this for yourself. I also want to remind you how strong you are, because sometimes just waking up and getting out of bed requires more strength than people can possibly understand. Just moving on with your life it's so impossible. And so every day that you make it a little bit further, that's just amazing. That's above and beyond. It's wonderful. And I want you to know you're not alone. I really don't want to end on such a heavy note, but that's what I've got. So if you want to keep watching and kind of see where we go and what it's like, then like and subscribe. I'm going to give you a little belly shot from the front and from the side. I am 26 weeks. Here's the side. Here's the front. My next video is going to be a vlog of our family summer party, which is always a lot of fun every year. And also, I'm going to add in there my paleo meal prep, because I am on a mostly paleo diet. So yeah, I hope you catch my next video, and I hope you gain some understanding or some peace from this video, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.